Could you please introduce yourself?
I'm Trout. I'm a tech artist at FIA, Florida Interactive Entertainment Academy.
And you did your undergrad at?
Purdue University. I was a graphic designer originally. I was actually double major. It was in advertising and graphic design. And I was a graphic designer for a couple of years between graduate school and undergrad. And then through luck mostly, I was doing research online and I saw FIA, and then I emailed Brian and Sarah and other people who worked there, and they were very nice, and I was like, sounds like something I could do. So that's how I ended up there.
So that's cool. Now, I mean, there's problem solving in advertising, obviously, but there's a much deeper level of technical problem solving as a tech artist. What appeals to you about that?
I had not scripted or actually had much 3D experience before FIA, so like I took a scripting class with one of our programming professors, and the more I did it, maybe just because I made me feel smarter, I was like, look at this scripting, I feel awesome. And then Barack and Mary came by, gave a presentation, which they were like, we are gods of industry, you should come and be a tech artist. I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so awesome. So it was all like, it's been a rush of learning a lot of things, and I was just ready to jump right into it, so that's kind of how that happened. But like, yeah,
that's really cool.
Problem solving in tech art, like, I think for me it was just like sit down and do it till it works. I did a lot of like research. I had a lot of really great professors and fellow students who'd help out answer questions. I would go talk philosophy with programmers. By that I mean, like how they might go about solving problems, and they were all great resources. So it's been a little bit of a whirlwind, but pretty awesome.
So, but already doing what a tech artist does, which is trying to understand the tech side from a technologist perspective.
We were writing an XML parser, one of our most recent assignments for loading a character in Maya, and I was trying to figure out through XML how I might, do a relative path, because right now, when I was testing, I was just doing like hard-coding paths and grabbing files from that, which was not going to work yet. No, hissing in the background. It's not gonna, that's terrible. How you people are going to load that? So I was just talking to them about the best way to do it, and they were like, "Well, you already have this variable you already queried for." So it was just like using things that I already have. And I was like, "Oh, that's right." And then I was able to rewrite it to work on any computer based on just some of their feedback, and they were all very, very smart. So.
Well, that's excellent. Could you describe like what you're learning in your courses and how that has started preparing?
Like specifically tech art courses?
Yeah, well, specifically the tech art courses.
We've been looking at, well, like a lot of it is just, a lot of the advice is go explore for yourself. Give us rigging advice where he will rig up a spline and he'll show you how each one of those like constraints can be used to get a different effect. Mary will show us code, like she gave us the parser, or at least a very, very basic. She gave us the parser, she gave us a very, very base, and then we were supposed to extrapolate from that how we would tailor it to skin weights and constraints and all that other stuff that goes with the character. A lot of it's just though, like, their advice is to just jump in.
Immensely practical. So when you're jumping in, what kind of sources do you go to?
Well, I have really, really great like professors, like
okay.
Tom and Paula, like the industry professionals who are programming professors, who I've talked to a lot in the past few weeks anyway. And then also like online, a lot of different forums and stuff like that. A lot of it you can't just learn in a book. Or
right.
Like there'll be like there's a snippet of code, and then you can kind of like look at it and go, oh, I see how they did that, but maybe this could work if I changed, these variables for my purposes and things like that.
Any advice for students who want to follow you?
Don't get scared off when people say, oh, there's going to be scripting and technical things. I think that's the #1 deterrent, because they're afraid that if they don't know scripting, that it's going to be difficult. And it has been difficult to learn it in a very short period of time, but it just requires a little bit more work. And so it's not impossible. Like, it took me a while to wrap my head around object-oriented programming, and then I went to one class where Tom just talked about it, and it was like, it all clicked, and it was really great. But yeah, like, I think the #1 thing that keeps other finds even from wanting to do it is that they haven't scripted before, and I think that's like the technical leap that they're not ready to make. And I was just like, just go ahead and jump right in. There's plenty of things out there to help you do it. So.
Okay, so it sort of sounds like the advice from code.org. It's the superpower for the 21st century, get in there and start to code a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think that scripting is probably going to be something that I'm going to be using a lot, and it just helps me, like, one, talk to programmers, because suddenly I understand what they're, like, sort of speaking their language. it's cool. Like, she can help her out and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay. Caitlin, thank you very much.